MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by The Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below. All right, how's it going, everybody? How we doing? Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I got in here early today, get everything started early. So I didn't, don't run into too many technical difficulties. Or if I do run into some technical difficulties, then I got plenty of time to get come up with a solution. And I think I may have found some solutions to my slow PC problems that I had last Friday. I think I had too many Chrome extensions running in the background that I wasn't even really aware of. So we'll see. I got the same setup as I had when I started the session Friday, so we'll see if that slows things down. Actually, I got everything in SIM right now. I can kind of test something out. Everything seems pretty smooth so far, so we'll see. So we did have a pretty interesting, we had some volatility come in off that economic news at 8:30. And other than that, like since then, we've the energy has slowed down a little bit leading into the bell. Got about a minute and a half to go. Seeing some interesting 1 minute supply response above like 130 roughly. Wouldn't be surprised to see some sell-off at the open, but anything can happen. Or wouldn't, from a wholesale perspective, it would be more like picking up some new inventory at the open. So we'll see it in about 40 minutes. I can take everything out of SIM because that test went well. Right before the open, we are resting above that volume gap that we created above or below 120. All right, so we are open. Let's see what they got in store for us. It's a pretty slow open so far, especially for a Monday. So this week I'm actually probably not going to narrate as much. I really want to focus on making sure I'm executing the way I'm supposed to be executing. So I'll jump in when I see, get on the mic and I say some stuff when the time is right. We'll just play it by ear from there. just as a point of awareness, we are coming into the session high. Well, we have the session high right there, 150. Inventory response off that session gap. So interesting. I am a little lagged, so I gotta turn off this other screen recorder. So I got to record that one trade. See, that lag got me it gave me up, so I'm glad I traded the way I did it. Did take a loss when I was supposed to take a scalp because of that lag. And also, as a reminder, trading is an individual sport. You're responsible, you're accountable for what happens in your own account. So I would highly recommend to make your own trading decisions and don't just go off of what I say or do. So nice little inventory response there off of 125.25. Still holding up that inventory above that inventory zone above 120. Last supply is around 136. It's looking at for kind of trading in a way that I call closing the door, closing the window. I haven't used it in so long, but we have this little sort of a flag pattern here on a micro scale, and I'll be looking for a break in either direction, or a lift of supply or a drop of inventory. So right now we did get a lift of supply, but we came right back inside. See where we go from here. The really slow open, like extremely low participation for a Monday. You know, before the open, like usually price is bouncing around a little bit more than this. I don't know if like everybody's scared or what's going on, but the participation has been extremely low lately relative to what has typically happened in the past. So we're still holding that inventory above 120. That's pretty much between 124 and 120. Eventually they are going to get tired of conducting business in this area. And they will move to a new location, at least temporarily. So we're into that volume gap area. Right at the open, we kind of teased it, brought inventory down to 116. Another drop of inventory, but we're right back into that shop, to that right back above 120. We broke that inventory response. Let's see how low do we go. And another inventory. This is very mechanical, but another inventory response off the low of that volume gap. Nice inventory response there up at 108 or 110. Took us all the way back to that previous supply. Still just kind of hovering around. Got a response there off of automation. It's not even much to call out. That, like, even if I wanted to do a lot of narration this morning, there's not much to narrate. There's not that much participation. Wholesale doesn't have that much to play with or to work with. So they're just doing what they can in this area here. Set up shop here in this, what is it, about a 40-point range. Also keeping in mind, we got home sales at 10 at our B period. I want to make sure we maintain awareness to that. I could maybe turn things up. Maybe people are waiting for that. And I didn't see, when I checked the calendar yesterday, I didn't see anything like FOMC wise or Fed wise. So, but a lot of participants are waiting for something. Our automation is still somewhat active. We just broke through automation. Also got MSRP down there around, I see it around 104. There's that mechanical volatility spike that sometimes comes in at 9:45. So maybe they were just waiting for the time. Starting to pick up energy a little bit here. Now it looks like we're getting a supply response below 120. Off of that 108 inventory. They're giving us a little bit of excitement here. So we did find some supply there at 116-ish. And we pushed above that. So it would make sense for us to, continue to push supply from there and maybe go on a squeeze. But if that doesn't happen, that does give us a little bit of ammo to find cheaper inventory. Maybe break us below that 108 area. But as of right now, we're back above 120, still conducting business up here. It could go either way. I'm gonna go ahead and take my B-Force break just to see, because I see so many, just to see what happens. I don't need to, I'm up okay. It's not, so I don't need to really force anything this morning. It's not even really forcing it. I'm at a period where I can take a break. When I'm streaming, I don't really like to be too aggressive, because I'm, even though I'm trying to, my aim for today and Friday is to focus on trading, even though I'm live streaming, but I still do have to focus on the stream and see what's going on and make sure everything is working like it's supposed to. And then there's the resource thing where things can kind of be a little laggy, and I got to pay attention for any technical issues. So can't be as focused as I usually am when I'm not streaming. So because of all of that, I'm not as aggressive when I'm streaming as I am when I'm just trading by myself. I can say for sure it's not. I like to be as transparent as I can possibly be without, giving up too much personal information with the trades. But we came back to that 108 inventory, another inventory response. It does appear that participation has picked up slightly, but not a lot, which I wouldn't expect it to just be night and day like that. The increase of participation that I'm observing does make sense. And this is creating, from a 3-minute perspective, an interesting, what most people would call a descending channel. And one thing that I've seen repeat itself frequently is eventually they get tired of these areas and price moves, and the longer we stay in these ranges like this, the more violent that push out of the range will be, or typically is. So we start dropping the inventory, we finally break the inventory, and we get tired of this area here. It could be a pretty strong inventory response, and vice versa for supply. Even though I think, this is just my opinion, it's not trading advice, if we do start lifting the supply and go on a supply run, which means we start to look for higher prices, trading us at higher prices, I don't think that would be as strong of a move as if we went on an inventory run. But anything can happen. Who knows what's gonna happen? Only the people making it happen. But as of right now, none of that is taking place. We're not even really that close to either one of those. Maybe that the 10 o'clock news would be the catalyst to finally take us out of this range, out of this shop. Basically, we're still in this 120 shop, but we just extended it down to 108. So you kind of visualize, we started out as a small store, and then we expanded, we added on in addition to the store, kind of making it like a shopping center now. And now so the store was, we had inventory at 120. Now the shopping center has inventory at 108. And we're just conducting business in between that and our supply around like 140-ish. Like 136 to 140. We're coming back into that supply. Slowed down right at 136. Maintaining that descending channel, what I call markdown, because we're just marking down inventory and marking down supply. Back into automation, which is around 120. They got the algos off of that 120, off that automation. So it didn't really, nothing really happened there. We kind of paused a bit, but really just broke through automation. We are getting a mechanical response off this MSRP, which is now around 116. So hindsight capital says I could have stayed aggressive if I wanted to, but I'm completely satisfied with my decision. Excuse me if you hear me drinking tea in the mic. I try to move away from the mic. Continuing with my tea regimen. Lately I've had a kind of a health focus to where I've been doing some fasting, and there's this supplement that I'm kind of drinking as a tea, which every once in a while I like to do like a fast or something. Helps with mental clarity and kind of resets things and gives the immune system a break. There's a lot of benefits to fasting that I'm not going to go into here, but that just, came up in my mind to share. Well, we're not really seeing much of anything with what NQ is doing. Still holding this shop. We got about 3 minutes before B period. All right, there we go. We're starting to get some supply action. Pushing pretty strongly into that overnight session high. Starting to get interesting. We finally broken out of that markdown phase. Took the elevator to where volume starts to taper off into the session high, the overnight, well, the session high period. That hasn't changed since RTH. But we're starting to pause right there where we ran out of volume. Wouldn't necessarily call this a front run yet. Just we did have some stops to squeeze to take advantage of there, but here's wasn't much up there to much supply up there to do much with. Also, keeping in mind that wholesale, our market makers can tactically make things appear one way when it's really another way. But as long as we stay consistent to what we're trying to do, it really doesn't matter that much what they're trying to do, because even they like consistency. That might be an interesting Trader Triggers topic. Speaking of consistency, those have been kind of hard to anything that you do, you try to stay consistent to. You get to a point to where for me anyway, and I see this other people, for me and others that I have observed, consistency does get hard once you've been doing it for a while, and then you get to a point where maybe the creative juices slow down or you just don't feel like it anymore. But those are the times when you really want to maintain your consistency, because a lot of times it's interesting how it happens. That's right where you start to, and I'm kind of talking to myself right now, trying to motivate myself, but when you're in that phase of being consistent and you kind of start to slow down, you're not as motivated as you were before, and you creatively maybe start to slow down, and it just becomes harder to stay consistent. Usually that's where you're at your breaking point to reach whatever goal that you're trying to reach. A lot of times it's funny how that plays out. What's going on, Digi? Trying to see a mechanical response off of automation, that 136 area. Picking up some inventory there, but it's more of some negotiating going on here. Starting to come into automation. So I can kind of look at that. So we had a supply response, a mechanically off of 150, can sort of be looked at as a front run of the session high. Knowing that you're gonna have short sellers there, so if we bought down, let's say at our previous inventory around 116, and I held through that, and I know that there's going to be some selling, some sort of participation at the session high, which is like 153 and a half ish. I'm not going to wait for, if I'm trying to profit in that area, I'm not going to wait for the session high. I'm not going to wait for 153. I'm going to start offloading and getting out of that position before that. Which kind of increases the chance that I'm going to get the fills that I'm looking for. So kind of did get that there. So that was the front run. We front run that main area of interest. And if we come back into that, that should also create some more participation. What could potentially be some new session highs, which we could see some squeeze action going on up there. If we break up there, which looks like, yep, there we go. Yep. Looks like we may be getting some of that momentum now. So if I was a breakout trader, what I wouldn't want, doesn't mean it doesn't have to, it's not gonna work, but we just broke out of that A period range, and we're into new session highs. We're starting to lift the session high, but I wouldn't want it to come back inside that A period range if I tried to take the break there. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to see sell-off if it does break back below that overnight session high, which is what we're kind of playing with right now. But, you know, trying to say it in a way where it's not, there's a good chance if we do break back below that and we do hold below that, then we can start to look for cheaper inventory. But again, anything can happen. But the picture perfect scenario that I would want to see if I'm long here at that break, I would want to see it, you know, keep pushing long until I get to my target, and then it can do whatever it wants to do. So we did get a quick retest off of that previous session high. We're continuing to lift the supply. And I can tell with just the frequency that I'm holding, I have settled into being done for the day. In terms of me, I'm not going to take any more executions, any more trades. Stay true to the frequency that I'm holding and not try to fight it emotionally. So right now we're looking at inventory off of that 153 area, 154. Slowly lifting the supply. Right above 165. Staying on the stairs, just stair-stepping our way. We're looking for a breakdown here. And also, so far we've been mechanically responding off of automation. They've had that algo turned on, making use of it. Overall, it's still slow. It's not, that participation is kind of low still. Coming back into supply, and there's a supply lift, another supply lift, another lift of the session high. So it'll be interesting to see if we continue to hold up this quote unquote rally. Stay on the supply run. You get a quick inventory lift around 155. Looking to see where we're going to run out of supply. From a daily perspective, we're trading inside of Friday's highs. Friday's kind of inside of Friday's power range, in between 170 and 193. Gonna keep my eye out to see if that has any relevance moving forward. Mason just joined the Friday highs party. Currently sitting above 170. Seeing some new participation coming around 175. A lot of things happen in that 175 range. We're negotiating in this area here, kind of mechanically doing so on automation. And I'm gonna go ahead and premiere the next episode of Trader Triggers, which is coming up at 11. So I'm gonna take my eyes off the charts for a minute. That's the only reason I said that out loud. And it also serves as a reminder that Trader Triggers, the next episode of Trader Triggers, is coming up. We did have some inventory there off of that 170 zone that broke down. And now we're starting to drop that inventory. Put us back in another stage of negotiation. Not a lot is happening at this moment. I did want to see, I saw some off that 175-ish participation. I wanted to see where it was going to go from there. So also kind of curious where it's gonna, what we're going to do from here. Not necessarily going to get into why it's doing what it's doing, because there's so many reasons. And I just want to kind of recognize what's happening and not get too into why it could be happening. I like to keep it simple, as I like to say all the time. I'm at a point now to where I don't necessarily need a huge narrative off of what I see, because I have certain things that I like to look for. And it's just a matter of recognizing when those things show up. And what could happen after those things show up. And just make sure that if I am executing off of that, just that I'm participating, sticking to the plan and not based off of some scenario or narrative that I'm playing in my head. So that I don't get overran by my own bias. I can just stick to the plan, stay as disciplined as I can to the plan. I'm not always perfect at it, but you know, it is what it is. But as long as I stay there, then I know from all of my experience and the work that I put in to test and the back test and the, you know, my practice sessions and all that stuff, that everything should work out the way that I want it to. So on that note, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Got to go ahead and end today's session. Got a meeting that I got to get ready for. So while I would love to stay on and keep doing the thing, got to go ahead and in today's Futures Trade Radio stream. I hope each and every one of you have a good rest of your day, a good rest of your week. And until next time, trade it easy.